Hello, ciao, beautiful souls. Welcome to a reading for Aquarius season. Okay, so we have 3 piles here. I encourage you to follow the pile that speaks the most to you. So for pile 1, we have the Work Your Light Oracle cards. Pile 2, we have the Starseed Oracle. And pile 3, we have the Rose Oracle. The crystals that you may choose are as follows. We have blue Apatite for pile 1. We have Amethyst. And we have rose quartz. Aquarius season is January 20th to February 18th. And just wanting to wish all of my Aquarians a happy birthday. Let me know in the comments if you're an Aquarius. I would love to know. And subscribe if you want to see more pick a card readings like this one. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, pile 1. If you chose this piece of blue Apatite, then this is your reading for you. Apatite helps with creativity, stimulating new ideas and inspirations, and also helps with focus and concentration. If those are areas in your life that need some attention, maybe this is the reading for you. So I'm going to get a few cards from this Work Your Light Oracle before we move on to our tarot. So take a deep breath, quiet your mind, and tap into your heart space. Ask your heart what it is that you need to know for Aquarius season. And I'm just going to vibe with your energy. I'm going to place both hands on my heart. We can take a deep breath together. Make it juicy, okay? Let all those good vibes in and release any stress or tension you may be holding in your body. So what does pile 1 need to know for Aquarius season? What does pile 1 need to know for Aquarius season? Council of Light, Divine Orchestration, Helpers in the Subtle Realms. You don't have to be religious or openly spiritual. I assume most of you are if you're picking up on this reading, or if you clicked on this reading, but we have all different forms of representation of the divine. Divine orchestration. Sometimes life doesn't go as planned. And if you, let's say, didn't get a job or something fell through that you were expecting, or the relationship didn't pan out, it's usually because it was not meant to be. And I think that you'll find solace in this adage, if you will. Rejection is source's protection. You might feel especially connected to your spirit guides. And I was doing a reading for a friend, and she was asking me, well, how do you know who your spirit guide is? And you can ask for a sign, and it's okay to not know how to connect with them. I had a connection to spirituality from a young age. For those of you who don't know, I wanted to be a nun up until the age, well, I had a lot of career paths in terms of my aspirations, but I truly felt connected to the divine, to God and Jesus. And I used to get bullied a lot and I didn't really have friends on the playground in elementary school. So I used to walk around and just talk to God, and I had a little prayer journal. You can write to them. This could also be an ancestor that is watching you and is blessing you with opportunities. We have answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? And it's possible that this rejection happened because it wasn't meant to be, and you were meant for something much higher. There's great potential here during Aquarius season to really do some soul searching and self-discovery. What do you truly want to devote your life to? And giving yourself that space and that grace to contemplate about what you want your life to look like in the next 20 or so years. Aquarians are the planetary humanity, Aquarians are known to be humanitarian in nature and wanting to serve your community. So think of that as sort of a starting point. What is your soul calling you to do? We also have boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? And boundaries, I think, are at times difficult because we perceive boundaries to be hurtful to other people. However, it's more so how other people respond to the notion of boundaries, and seeing boundaries as a form of self-love. During Aquarius season, you might find that your spirit guides, your spiritual team of ancestors, angels, the universe, source, they're going to be with you. If you haven't made contact with them, if you haven't opened up to them, there's a strong possibility that they are wanting you to reach out. If this is someone who has recently passed away, they want you to know that you are still in their hearts, even if they've changed form. Answer the call, whether this be literally answer your phone, maybe somebody is trying to get a hold of you, or this is you needing some time by yourself. Because often when we are spending time with a lot of people and we allow their influence to affect the way that we make decisions, we take away and sacrifice our own power. I find it ironic that there is what looks like sand in the background of the boundaries card. And my Aunt Julie explained it to someone who didn't really understand what boundaries were, and she relayed that conversation to me. She said that boundaries are sort of like a line in the sand. What are you willing to tolerate and what you are not? And it's okay to have limits. It's what makes us human. Especially for those who are in a career that requires us to be of service to others. You might be very accustomed to just give, and maybe you don't feel worthy of receiving because you don't feel like you deserve it, not because of potential self-resentment, but because of you feeling like you can handle anything that the universe throws your way, and you have this subconscious need to feel strong. But if everybody takes a piece of you, there's not going to be any peace, inner peace left for you to sustain yourself. And if you find that others are not respecting of your spiritual, let's just roll some astro dice and see what the astro dice have to say. We have Pluto, which talks about death and rebirth. We also have its planetary affiliate, Scorpio. So the end of a cycle is approaching to make room, to make way for a new way of doing things. And we do have the 10th house, which is the ruler of your career. So Scorpio in the 10th house seeks opportunities to investigate and illuminate truth. Scorpio individuals understand that you cannot have lightness without the darkness. And there's many shades, a variety of shades of humanity. And how you make room for them to feel. So you might be a life coach or a counselor, or you might be a counselor or a therapist in training, so to speak, for some of you. Or you're recognizing that you're feeling called towards a career in mental health. Scorpio also is able to access these parts of us and conceptualize darkness in the human experience. And so you might also feel called towards acting and bringing to life these stories that are being told in the world. Or maybe that's a dream of yours, is to direct or to produce a film. But you have a unique lens with which you see the world. I'm also receiving photography. It might be a way to frame the lens through which you see the world. Others of you might feel called towards like social media. And some of you, I think, are relinquishing this fear of being seen. And you are embracing your authenticity. Meaning it's not about the likes. It's not about how much makeup you have on. It's not about the clothes that you're wearing. It's about the message that you are conveying to the world. And maybe you have psychic abilities that you are not yet aware of, or you might be recently made aware of them and are learning how to use them. And this is a unique gift. I think everybody has innate psychic abilities, but what makes them unique is how they are expressed differently. I'm also seeing that you're overcoming potential perfectionism for some of you when it comes to what it is you publish, because the 10th house is your public self. So again, releasing what others think of you, because ultimately those perceptions are influenced by their emotional experience and their life circumstances. I think others see you as a force to be reckoned with. You're bold and you're not afraid to make those big moves. Sometimes you do take risks when you feel called to. But you also have a certain mystery or enigma about you that others can't necessarily put their finger on, but they just find you intriguing. And I think it's time for yourself to see that within, acknowledge how special you are. You might have to assert boundaries for those of you who are working, for example, in research. You might have certain boundaries about in terms of what you are working on versus what the other person is contributing to the group. And there might be a little bit of pullback when it comes to working in teams because you might be a little bit hesitant when it comes to sacrificing that creative control. And your spirit guides, I think, want to acknowledge that it is for the greater good, and it's helping you embrace more of an open mind, okay? I'm also seeing there might be power struggles with others in authority, maybe even your father, because we do have that 10th house influence. You have a hard time taking orders or taking criticism. And again, I want you to know that it's not personal. And again, keeping in mind that it's for the greater good. Now, you might diversify off the path. You might not pursue what your father hoped you would, or your mom hoped you would. But the thing is you are not living their life, you're living yours. And so embracing audacity, embracing the bold and the brave, that's going to help you navigate these trials and tribulations that is sort of bringing about a stagnancy in your life right now. And I think you're encouraged to slow down just for a second so you can figure out the path that is truly meant for you. So asking your spirit guides for a sign is a very powerful way and a very open gesture towards wanting to connect with them. So we're going to get into your tarot now. If you haven't really connected with this pile so far, now is the time to go and select another pile. Before I get into the tarot messages, I just wanted to bring up some cities and countries ruled by Aquarius because I really felt the need for you to travel. So, countries ruled by Aquarius include Iran, Finland, New Zealand, Russia, Sweden, Syria, Ethiopia, the Holy Vatican City, and Sri Lanka. Cities ruled by Aquarius include Brighton, Hamburg, Helsinki, Moscow, Salzburg, St. Petersburg, and Bremen. And I'm going to read Scorpio just because we had that come up. Countries that are ruled by Scorpio include Angola, Morocco, Queensland, Korea, Syria, Norway, the Transvaal, Bavaria, Antigua, Barbuda, Cambodia, Dominica, Latvia, Lebanon, Micronesia, Panama, Turkey, Turkmenistan, and Zambia. Cities ruled by Scorpio include Cincinnati, Liverpool, Newcastle, Washington, D.C., Vienna, Baltimore, and New Orleans. Oh, I went to New Orleans this past year, and I just really loved the vibe. I didn't get to see too much of the city, but I really felt the energy there, and I would love to go back. So anyways, let's get into messages that are meant for pile 1 for Aquarius season. I always bring up, because people I don't really think, especially if you don't take faith and spirituality that seriously, you may be telling yourself, what's the point? Like, that's not going to do anything. I did not know how to bridge. And if you don't know what bridge is, it's when you shuffle, and then didn't know how to do it to save my life. Never thought I'd be able to do it. And I was telling my spirit guides, I was like, this was in 2020. I said, hey, so I need to be a tarot reader, and in order to be a tarot reader, I need to learn how to bridge these cards. And I kid you not, I had tried so many times before. Literally, I was talking to them, and while I was talking to them, I was attempting to shuffle and bridge. And within 15 minutes, I kid you not, within 15 minutes, I was able to bridge cards. And it's very, very small, but I think a lot of people who don't know, Zach, if you're listening, I'm talking to you. But there's doubt, obviously, because if you haven't talked to your spirit guides, if you haven't connected with them, you don't really understand that level of influence that they can have on your life. And I think it's such a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I encourage you to open a dialogue with your spirit guides or even your ancestors. If you want to start with your ancestors and connect with them in some way, it could even be cooking a meal that cooking a meal that they've made for you often. Okay, so I felt called to use the Light Seers Tarot, if I haven't said that already. But messages for pile 1. Messages for pile 1. So many cards just fell. Hold on. If it was 5 cards, I would say okay, but it was like 30 cards. Can't really pull that many. We'll be here for hours. I do have personal readings on my Etsy shop for those who do want a personal reading. Pile 1, those of you who choose, what is Aquarius season teaching you or showing you for 2023? Aquarius season 2023. We have the Three of Wands. I love the Three of Wands in this card particularly. It's a card that conveys initiation and a need for adventure, a need for more. And whereas the Two of Wands, you're still in this planning stage. The Three of Wands is open and ready to take action. The 3 is indicative of communication. It is indicative of learning, connecting with others, meaning like your neighbors, your siblings, others in your community. Maybe this is a need to get out of your immediate environment just for a little while, just taking a little vacation. I'm also seeing some of you might be learning something new, whether that be a foreign language, whether that be a new hobby like painting or collage. Some of you just might feel compelled to express yourself creatively. I think those of you who chose this pile want to be able to work from anywhere. And so freelancing, writing, publishing, that is all affiliated with the Three of Wands. So if you're feeling called to do that, I think Aquarius season is the perfect time to do so. I always think of Moana for some reason when I see this card. So Moana might be a special movie that you can connect with. Oh, I love this. We have the Star. The Star is Aquarius energy. You might be getting fame or recognition for some of you for the work that you're publishing or producing. I'm also seeing that maybe, again, a change of location might help further develop inspiration on an existing project. I'm also receiving the message of collaborating creatively on a project with friends. February 3rd or February 17th might be important dates. The Three of Wands is also the Sun in Aries. So what you do in Aquarius season, the opportunities that you choose to take and run with might come to a pinnacle point in Aries season. So for example, let's say you've wanted to start an Etsy shop and you're creating journal pages and self-help materials to help others navigate their way out of self-limiting beliefs. Maybe your Etsy shop really starts to take off during Aries season, or maybe you create this product and it blows up, or you release a video on YouTube and it blows up. That's also possible. I'm also hearing follow your intuition, and just because somebody else created it or created a version of it doesn't mean yours will be the same. Now, obviously, we're not talking about plagiarizing, but for example, Bailey Sarian is a well-known YouTuber, right? She, just because someone else like Stephanie Harlow covered Casey Anthony in a 8-part series doesn't mean Bailey Sarian is not going to offer her commentary just because somebody else did it, if that makes sense. You're adding your own finesse. You're learning how to add your own pizzazz to things. 3 is also the number of creation. 17 might be a lucky number for some of you who chose this pile. Maybe some of you during Aquarius season are traveling to see friends in another state. We're not going to take all of those, but I'll take these 2. This is also increasing or finding ways to increase your belief or self-esteem around your creations. We have the 5 of Pentacles. Some of you might be winning some sort. I don't know if it's the lottery, if it's an opportunity that was meant for you, but you might be breaking out of financial or emotional scarcity. Oh my gosh, get the front door out of here. We have the 3 of Cups. I love that we ended that way. You might have, your boundary might be needing to ask for help in certain situations. I'm going to put these here instead because they're just not fitting with the vibe here. I don't like necessarily layering cards. But connecting with your friends to feel less alone, because 5 of Pentacles is Mercury in Taurus. Taurus is the house of our self-worth. It is about what we have, right? Our material possessions. You don't have to break your bank to spend time with your friends. Like, people often say, well, I don't have any money, so I can't spend time with my friends. But what does that say? That says that you're putting a price tag on human connection, and that you don't deserve human connection until you have money in the bank. There's so many different ways of having like a free date night. You can play a board game, it doesn't have to be going out necessarily. We also have the 6 of Cups here. This is Sun and Scorpio. We had Scorpio energy come out earlier. So if you have a Scorpio friend that you haven't really connected with, she could be a sun, she could be a moon, she could be a rising, okay? I'm seeing brooch. So if there was a brooch or a pin that maybe a friend gives you, or maybe this was an honored piece from an ancestor, wear that or honor it in some way. Maybe put it on an altar next to a picture of this person. But they want you to wear it. I don't know, that was a very random message. It might only apply for one person, but I thought I'd put it out there. The star can also be learning more about your astrology chart and what it says about your potential. I also have astrology readings in my shop, shameless plug. I love the Three of Wands and the Three of Cups together because it's excitement and connection, and it's everything that Aquarius season is about. I think this is also asking you to have hope. If your finances are maybe not where you want them to be, have hope that things will turn out, because your spirit guides are listening and they are protecting you. Whether or not you believe that doesn't change anything. It's not a contractual relationship with your spiritual team. They provide unconditional love to you in all regards. I want to also, potentially some of you are getting a pet. Maybe you lost you lost a pet recently and you're surprised with one, or some of you might be visiting your hometown sometime in Aquarius season and just connecting with friends, relatives might be beneficial for not only your emotional health, but your spiritual health, because connecting to your roots reminds you to be authentic. And the star card, Aquarius, is nothing but embracing authenticity. I missed a couple cards. We have the Queen of Wands in reverse. When they fell, a couple of them fell on my cart, so I'm compelled to just take these two. We have the Queen of Wands in reverse, so you might not recognize your power yet, but given the right environment, you will. And we also have Seven of Pentacles. So you might be working on something, and again, it's going to take time. You can't rush abundance, true, genuine abundance, just like you can't rush change. Change in the long term is what is growth. And when I see this card, I think of my no. He said something, and he said, he used to say that when it comes to disciplining a tree, or a kid, it's akin to a tree. And once it veers out of a straight line, it can't grow back. But at the same time, it's almost like you're trying to control someone not to be themselves. And so there might be conditioning that you need to sort of undo and reprogram, that you are allowed to be who you are. You are allowed to have your desires. You are entitled to the life that you want to have. Light a candle. For some of you, maybe working with fire magic, something that helped me was like writing all the negative things I would say about myself, writing them like in a black pen, and then going through with like a red pen or a marker and slashing it off, crossing it off. Or you could write this list and then burn it, just to symbolically show yourself that these limiting beliefs are not serving you, but they're also not yours. And it is okay to cultivate new ones. I see for a lot of you in Aquarius season, you are finding and realigning potentially with a purpose of yours that you've had in the back of your head. So for example, I'm going to use myself. I didn't really have an easy time getting into grad school, but also staying in grad school. There was just a lot of trauma that kept happening, and it affected the timeline drastically. But I attended grad school during COVID, and I did not do well working from home, especially because my parents have a very messed up relationship, and the friend I was living with, that friendship took a left turn, and I ended up needing to move out, and all of these obstacles were in the way. And so part of me was like, hey, Siena, what if counseling wasn't meant for you? What if you were not meant to do this? And now that I have been out of school for 3 years, there is this urge in me based on experiences that I have seen. I want to be able to help others connect to their inner child. And I want to help show others how to self-love themselves. I love this energy. We have the 6 of Cups, the 9 of Cups in reverse. And then we have the 2 of Cups. Emotions, your past is affecting your emotions or your ability to move on. But I'm seeing this now as being a therapist doesn't mean that I am there was also, I think, this fear in me saying that what if you mess up? Because when you start grad school, you learn there's a lot more to being a therapist. And that is why I get heated. It's one of my pet peeves when people undermine what a therapist does. And I've heard people say, well, it's just like going to see a best friend. No, it's not. Therapists have a lot on their plate. And I think my fear of messing up and potentially re-traumatizing someone scared me. And I kind of kept making excuses. And so this year, I'm happy to say that I am reapplying. I'm sort of up in the air in terms of where I'm going right now because I'm manifesting something pretty big. But I'm going to move these. I'm going to just put this here and this here. But there's that desire in me that I feel this emptiness in my soul. And I think going back to school would fill it. And I don't fear time anymore. I'm kind of at a time in my life where it's like, Siena, it's either you do or you don't. You have to make up your mind. And this indecisiveness was necessary because I am very determined to be a child therapist. And it's not like I wasn't good at it. That's the other thing. There's no reason. I mean, the last semester, there was a big trauma that happened. And then another trauma that I was, resurfaced. It just put a lot, on me. I was in a very low space. Academically, I suffered in the last semester just because I lost that drive. But I was getting A's. I was getting a 4.0. And as someone who's an English major who transferred out of being pre-med, I thought that I couldn't do it. I was like, you're not going to be able to handle these science courses or whatever. And I proved myself wrong, too. That's the thing. Sometimes you don't know until you try. Okay? So strengthening this throat chakra and your solar plexus is really going to help you connect. And also, don't be afraid to work on your heart chakra as well during Aquarius season. I'm going to pull one last oracle card. Because you had this divine orchestration card, or the Council of Light, I'm curious. I just dropped the box. I'm curious to see what spirit guide you are connecting with, or a spirit guide that maybe is watching over you. And you don't know it this way, that you can connect with them. We have Archangel Azrael. Oh my gosh, we have Scorpio here. We have death and rebirth. We have transitions, and we have life changes. Get the front door out of here. So I recently got this deck. I want to read the book because I don't want to miss anything, but I'm also just curious to see what this angel has to say. I've never gotten this angel before, so very exciting. Archangel Azrael's name means angel of death. While he's a powerful guide and comforter in times of grief and loss, He turns up during a physical death and also supports you during all times of change, life transitions, and during that difficult period between one thing ending and the next not yet beginning. Archangel Azrael can offer you comfort and strength at the completion of a cycle during big shifts and transformations. He's also a powerful ally when working with mediumship and calling on your loved ones in spirit. The Oracle. You are journeying from one chapter into another. Let go of the old and prepare to step into the new. One door is closing, another is opening. Step through. I love this. Love this vibe. Okay. So in love and relationships, take time to grieve for those you have lost through death, divorce, breakup, falling out, or simply growing apart. Let go and release relationships and people that you know are no longer right for you in your life at this time. In career, something needs to change. It may be time to change jobs or to change the energy around your current work situation. Home. Let go of old things you no longer need that are weighing you down. Put up photos of your passed over loved ones to keep them near. What did we just talk about, guys? I love when spirit ties it all together at the end. Money. You have the power to create a new money story for yourself. Let go of old patterns and habits and start to form new ones that will support you financially. Well-being. Declutter in all areas of your life. Let go of the things, people, thoughts, and beliefs that no longer serve you. Spirituality. Connect with your passed over loved ones in spirit. Ask them to show up in your dreams and through signs you will recognize. Embody the energy of Archangel Azrael by taking time to grieve for what you've lost, giving yourself time to heal and process, letting go with grace, and looking forward with hope. That is all I have for you, Aquarius. That's all I have for you, pile 1, for Aquarius season. I hope you resonated with this video. If you did, give this video a like and let me know what you'd like to see in the next Pick a Card. Thank you so much for tuning in. Ciao for now. Toodles. Pile 2. Thank you for inviting me to your space to read for you. So you chose the Starseed Oracle as well as the Amethyst piece. This is raw amethyst. Now, you could be seeking clarity on a certain matter this Aquarius season. So Aquarius season actually already started, but it goes until January 20th to February 18th or 19th, depending on the cosmos. But we're going to get into your oracle cards to pull up some themes this Aquarius season. And if you resonated with the themes, then it's safe to say that this is the reading for you, the pile for you, and otherwise choose a different one. Okay, so we have star bathing, light body, crystal grid, transmission, activation. The phrase, you are a soul in a human body, having a human experience, that just popped into my head. There's more for you to learn from than meets the eye. We have forge, don't follow. Pave a new path. Be the leader you wish you had. I'm just going to pull this card because it was the one on top. This is the Seas of Mintaka, seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. I love this. I don't know if this is a photograph that was I almost said imagized. If it was painted, it's just such a stunning picture of water. It's interesting that we have the water and then we have the stars and the water, meaning like life above and then life below. Working with Amethyst in your crystal grid. And if you don't know what a crystal grid is, it is a structure that you follow and place crystals accordingly. You might be called to crystals in Aquarius season. I'm not getting too much on star bathing, so let me read the section here. Cosmic ancestor. Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong page. The stars are constantly showering emanations onto the crystalline grid of the Earth. When things are in balance, the planet also sends information back up to the stars. Many starseeds have come to Earth at this time to help shift the planet vibrationally, to activate the ancient codes of wisdom that humanity has forgotten. And all of that information is stored in the crystalline grid. If you pull this card, you may be called to begin working with the stars and crystalline grid of the Earth. Some people believe that crystalline grid of the Earth anchors divine cosmic frequencies onto the planet. You may be guided to journey to particular places on Earth to unlock these cosmic codes with your presence. You may also be interested in a practice called star bathing. Download a star bathing meditation at starseedoracle.me. This card commonly arises because you're here to connect with the crystalline grid of the Earth, either in your hometown or by traveling to other places without quite knowing why. It can also mean that your light body, the energy body in its highest form, is being activated. If this resonates, take things extra slow in order to integrate the change of vibration. I'm going to draw an astrological sign, and I want to see the cities and places associated, because this may or may not be your hometown, but otherwise this can allude to places that can stir up inspiration and inner healing, and possibly even a place that you can connect to with your inner child. So I will read the places for Aquarius as well, just because Aquarius season is here, and that's the whole subject of this reading. But, oh, look at that. We have Aquarius. Okay. Countries are ruled by Aquarius include Iran, Finland, New Zealand, Russia, Sweden, Syria, Ethiopia, the Holy Vatican City, and Sri Lanka. Cities that are ruled by Aquarius include Brighton, Hamburg, Helsinki, Moscow, Salzburg, St. Petersburg, and Bremen. I'm curious, I want to see if there's any other places that I missed. And I'm curious to see cities specific to the US. So Moscow and St. Petersburg are Russia. Salzburg, Austria, Hamburg, Germany. U.S. cities include Tucson, Arizona, Anaheim, California, Fort Collins, Colorado, Jacksonville, Florida, Augusta, Georgia, Indianapolis, Indiana, Bowling Green, Kentucky, Jackson, Mississippi, Camden, New Jersey, Dallas, Texas, Olympia, Washington, Fairmont, West Virginia, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Fun fact, I did my undergrad there. And other countries associated with Aquarius include Russia, Sweden, Poland, Israel, Iran, Chile, Costa Rica, Greece, Grenada, Japan, Mexico, and Yugoslavia. So if you've ever felt a calling to visit any of those, you might notice that you really connect with the energies in that environment. And you might even decide to move there. Who knows? Let's see the other ones. We have Uranus, which is the ruling planet of Aquarius. And we have the 6th house. So you might even have to travel there for work, or you might do business, or even you might work remotely and their home base is in one of those cities. Forge, don't follow. Pave a new path. Be the leader you wish you had. One of the things I love about Aquarians is their unapologetic quality when it comes to embracing their own unique traits. And there might be a calling for you to step up and lead in your community, or you might just feel a vocation towards leadership. And leading doesn't mean you have to be the president or the governor, or you don't have to be in politics. Although if you're called to, maybe that's where you need to go. However, I'm feeling for some of you, for example, maybe you are neurodivergent and you never really received the resources available to you when you attended elementary, middle, or high school, or even beyond that. And so you have a strong passion to go into education, to be a leader and a voice for the voiceless, and really represent neurodivergence, okay? The seas of Mintaka, maybe you feel drawn to the ocean, or you could feel inspired when you get out of your own head, okay? That might mean going out into nature. It's also bringing unconsciousness to light. So there could be dreams that you have that contain answers from spirit guides. It's interesting too that we have the seas and then we have Aquarius with the waves. And it almost feels like you're cleansing yourself of energies that are no longer serving you, or belief systems that you never really quite understood, and it's probably because they're not yours to begin with. This could also be a need to develop something new. Aquarius is associated with technology. For some of you, I don't know why I'm seeing like you're creating a board game, or you're inventing some sort of new technology to help a certain cause. Forge, don't follow. Paving a new path. Be the leader you wish you had. I keep repeating that because I'm connecting to the card, but I also, like, you're seeing potential in something. It's almost like a thread that your spirit guides are daring you to pull. Okay. Uranus in the 6th house. I'm actually thinking about doing a Uranus in the signs and or in the houses series, but you have an unconventional way of looking at the world when it comes to being employed. So some of you might be self-employed. Others of you might just have unconventional careers. Like, so some of you, I don't know, you might be able to create, you might be fiction writers and you have this really beautiful ability to build worlds, build different worlds with your words. My battery is going to die on me, so we will resume the tarot in the next round. But yes, Uranus in the 6th house, you question a lot of things, and you want to make sure that procedure is being done in the most efficient way possible. And so you might be here, okay, to revolutionize the rules at work, okay? I'm hearing too that you'll break the rules if it means benefiting the cause or the passion that you are passionate about. I'm also seeing that you're very creative, so tapping into those creative abilities during this time might really help you. Oh wow, she came out very fast. We have the 10 of Swords here. The 10 of Swords is about releasing what isn't meant for us and following a new path. It's almost like the Death card. We have the 8 of Pentacles reversed, which is the ruler of the 6th house. It's Sun in Virgo. 10 of Swords is Sun in Gemini. You might be considered the outlier in your siblings. You might at one point even estranged yourself or separated yourself from a situation or your immediate family to gain perspective. And just like this card, like she's facing the direction the birds are flying in. She's ready to take this next step. And it's almost like you're using your obstacles and your traumas and the things that make you unique as ammunition towards accomplishing your goals. Maybe it's time to move on, or it's time to walk away from a situation, because we do have birds migrating, right? And when migrating in the animal kingdom obviously is for means of self-preservation. Birds cannot live in colder climates and expect to have an abundance of food options, right? So making changes towards setting yourself up for success might mean making changes towards your environment. And this could mean also your mental environment and the way that you're processing things. So forgiving yourself and giving yourself a little bit of grace for where you are in this moment, because you cannot move on fully if you're still carrying baggage from your past. If you're still holding on to these limiting beliefs, expecting them to get you anywhere. I love this energy because we also have the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter. You are needing to release these self-doubts about success. You might have a fear of being seen, or a fear of like maybe having too much. Spirit is asking you to trust in the cycles and encourages you to not just see things from good or bad, seeing all cycles as necessary for your own personal growth. The Wheel of Fortune is all about freedom, and that coincides with Aquarius. That being said, Jupiter is the ruler of a mutable sign. And this mutable energy helps us adapt to changing circumstances. Whereas as Aquarius is a fixed sign, and so holding on to their vision is something that is meaningful and important to them. This might mean you're moving physically, like physical location, and you are needing to understand that this loss is not forever. This is change for the better, and I think Spirit is asking you to focus on shadow work for your benefit. What is your life going to look like when you retire? Like, think of, because we have 10 and 10, think of your life, what you want your life to look like in the next 20 years. But this is embracing new experiences, and discovering your life purpose might mean you need to change location. Maybe there's only like 3 programs in the whole country that you want to study, or that features the program you want to study. And instead of telling yourself that this is not for me, you are pushing away your own fate and your own destiny. Also understanding that perhaps a loss of a friendship, the loss of a friendship, it might just mean that you've outgrown each other, and that is okay. But you are stepping out of this victim mentality, and you are understanding that there is more for you. Again, I think I said this earlier. I heard that there's more for you than meets the eye. And the sooner you realize that, the faster this turn is going to be for the better. Yes, we have death. Da, da, da. No, I think that this is very necessary, because you are mourning the loss of an identity you once had in order to embark on this journey. Whether this be going back to school in higher education, whether this be changing your career, whether this be stepping out of a relationship, there is some change that is needing to take place in your life. Pile 2 and Aquarius season. So from January 20th to February 18th, you are going to see that. And it's interesting because we have the 10 of Swords. And the 10 of Swords is all about communication, and death is all about seeing the truth. And also I'm telling you, or Spirit is telling me to ask you about the silver lining. I'm sorry if you can hear the kids screaming outside. The 10th of February or the 13th of February might be a very important time for you. Or Sagittarius, Gemini, Sagittarius, and Scorpio season. We had 2 cards pop out on the floor, 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 on the floor. And we have 2 major arcanas already. So that indicates big change. We have the 7 of Pentacles. And again, working on your shadow work, working on your shadow self. We have the Queen of Wands card in reverse. The Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is a teacher. She's also not afraid to be herself. Like, she will do what she wants when she wants, and she doesn't give two shits. And you might be afraid to be this open with others and with the world because you're afraid of what others are going to say about you. But think about it in terms of, as we said, 20 years down the road, if you don't pursue that passion, how will your life then look like? We also have strength in reverse. And so I think it's more of this internal strength and resilience and believing that you can accomplish whatever you're meant to in order to move forward. But the death and I love that we have death and rebirth, because again, you're seeing the silver lining, you're seeing and acknowledging a new way of looking at things. With the 10 of Swords and the 7 of Pentacles, some of you might already be in therapy, working on, I love, what is it? In counseling theories, there's narrative therapy, and it's all about helping the client rewrite their story and reshape that narrative, because the beliefs that are surrounding you might not be serving you in the right way. And the 7 of Pentacles is almost asking you to think of it in terms of the cost-benefit analysis. What is the cost of not doing something? And that's one way of looking at it. And then on the flip, what's the benefit of doing it? You might have to make compromises. You might have to sacrifice social media time, right? Just scrolling on your phone. But what if that meant reading a book about someone else's story? I had a book recommended to me, and I usually, I take that back. I do. It's something if I was dating somebody and they recommended me a book, I'd read it, partially to impress them, but also just to kind of understand where they're coming from. And that's one of the reasons why I love reading so much, is it opens us up to infinite possibilities, but also it teaches us empathy for somebody else's story. I'm going to suggest one to you. I take it back. I'm going to suggest 3 to you. So, What About the Rest of Your Life by Sung Yim. This is such a beautiful memoir. I just dropped stuff. Next, we have I Am Malala, the girl who stood up for education and was shot by the Taliban. And then we have Roxane Gay's Hunger. I don't know why I felt compelled to grab the other two, but that might be your spirit guides asking you to read a message. You know what? I'll flip through a page. Let me see. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to let you do that for you. Okay? But expanding your perspective and nourishing your soul with fuel that amps up your potential. That is what's going to help you embrace the changes that are happening around you. Because in different stages of development, and as I'm looking at the 7 of Pentacles card, you don't just, like, the same ways of caring for something changes. You don't parent a baby the way you would parent a toddler, for example. There's different needs that occur in different stages, right? But I'm also like the Wheel of Fortune, I think, is asking you to have a positive perspective on it, or just having more optimism about the situation, because no matter how dire, we are all capable of reprogramming our minds. And again, I think it's interesting that we had 10, and then death. So you might be in your 20s and you might just be unsure of where you are destined to be. Especially with this wheel card, and she's in tree pose, and tree pose is actually really beneficial, so maybe consider doing that. But you may feel off balance. You might feel taken advantage of. And avoiding conflict only makes things worse. So standing up for yourself. And again, we had those compromises that we need to make. Sometimes we don't want to honor ourselves. We don't want to stick up for ourselves because we're afraid of hurting feelings or looking some type of way. But if we don't, what does that say about ourselves? There's this fear of judgment, this fear of what telling the truth would mean for the other person. But again, that cost-benefit analysis. I'm going to get one more card. This is a spirit guide that you are going to be working with. Actually, yes, I'm going to pull from this deck. Hold on. Where did I put the deck? Oh, it's right here. Okay. Pile 2. What spirit guide are you working with during Aquarius season to help them heal emotionally, spiritually, physically? Archangel Metatron, spiritual power, sacral geometry, and I think that says, oh my god, I thought that said erotic wisdom, and I was like, what are you trying to say, Metatron? But it's esoteric wisdom. My goodness, where is my brain at? I will never know. Archangel Metatron is the voice of God and the angel of esoteric wisdom. He can help you activate spiritual knowledge and power through spiritual teachings, books, practices, downloads of higher wisdom, light codes, and sacred geometry. Archangel Metatron works with both the Earth Star and the Soul Star chakras, anchoring your pillar of light into the earth beneath you and into source energy above, so that you can live in alignment with love and wisdom. Archangel Metatron also supports children, especially those who are on the autism spectrum, have ADHD, or other issues that make growing up especially difficult. Didn't we talk about neurodivergence? Okay, what did we talk about? Oh my gosh. I love when spirit syncs it up and makes it sweet. The Oracle. It is time to step into and own your true spiritual power. In love and relationships, children around you may need extra support and care for your own inner child. In career, activate and own your spiritual power by sharing your knowledge and wisdom through your work. Home, use the power of sacred geometry around the home by creating crystal grids we had crystal grid and crystal grid. I did not make this up. We're hanging sacred geometry artwork. I'm also hearing connect with the process of, I don't know if I'm saying it, feng shui in money matters. Connect with money as an energy and align yourself to the frequencies of that energy to bring in the amount you need or want at this time. Place symbols of sacred geometry in your purse or wallet. Well-being. Gift yourself some quiet time for reading, studying, and reflection. Spirituality. Work with sacred geometry and meditation, visualization, energy healing, and spell work. Work with the symbol of Metatron's cube, a sacred 3-dimensional cube containing the 5 platonic solids that symbolize the building blocks of the universe. Let me know in the comments if you guys really got into Legos or like magnetiles. I'm curious. Embody the energy of Archangel Metatron by owning and activating your spiritual power, remembering we are all one and all connected, being a pillar of light, sharing your spiritual wisdom and knowledge with others who are ready to receive it, keyword ready, and helping others to feel more at home and supported in the physical world. Some of you might even be an interior designer or have like a passion to be an architect. I don't know if I'm on the docket there or not, but let me know. All right. That is all I have for you, Pile 2. Thank you so much for tuning in. If it resonated, be sure to give this video a like. Let me know down below in the comments and subscribe so you don't miss another pick a card reading on this channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Ciao, ciao for now. Toodles! Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading for Aquarius season. At the time I'm filming this, it is 111. So you might be seeing, repeated ones or 1111 on your clock, and you can take that as a sign from your spirit guides that you are headed in the right direction and that your angels and guides support you. So before we get into tarot, we are going to pull up some themes that you're going to be facing in Aquarius season. If you don't feel like these themes vibe with you, feel free to go pick a different pile. So we have the Rose Quartz and the Rose Oracle. Now this is by Rebecca Campbell. Unlike the other decks, this artwork is by Katie Louise. Okay, so pile 3 in the collective. Move citrine up here. Well, you can't even see. Your crystal is rose quartz to help your heart open up to new possibilities. Let's see, pile 3 for Aquarius season. Aquarius season, for those of you who don't know, is it's January 20th to February 18th. We have the sacred, sorry, my camera is in a different spot than it was before. We have the sacred union, beloved within, inner and outer relationships. And it looks like we have white roses, pink roses, and red roses. We have the Rose of Venus, alignment, flow, right relationship, harmony. And we have the Bud, potential, promise, it's about to happen, keep going. I think Spirit is reminding you of your potential during Aquarius season. We're going to start with the Sacred Union card. And to me, the Sacred Union is all about uniting with your inner child. And and healing wounds that perhaps affected. We also have what looks like wisps, not whips. Oh my gosh. Can't speak. We have threads of DNA, coils of DNA that lead up to this ring. And a ring is representative of a bond. Okay, this is a long-lasting relationship. And the different flowers correspond to different levels of love. There could be some disconnect between you and your inner child. Perhaps there was happenings from your childhood that you haven't gotten over yet. There could be a deeper explanation to explain feelings of anger or frustration within your present relationships. And so a theme for Aquarius for my pile 3s is inner child work and harmonizing within relationships. I did not feel I was gonna Okay. I felt called to do some book magic with you. So we are taking a passage from The Portable Therapist just to get some deeper clarity on what this means for pile 3 during Aquarius season. Interesting. We have, what is the answer? The question has 2 possible answers and 2 different ways to behave, depending on your answer to the question, how do I feel about myself right now? The first answer, I feel good about myself. I like what I did or thought or said. I am doing the best I can. Behavior 1, reward yourself. Pat yourself on the back. Smile at yourself in the mirror. Buy yourself a treat. Say something nice to yourself. Say, I did well. Answer 2, I feel bad. I don't like what I did, said, or thought. I wish I hadn't done that. I'm uncomfortable about this. Behavior 2, do not punish yourself. Do not say bad things about yourself. Do not allow guilt to enter. Simply plan to do something different next time, to try another behavior or thought. Remember that you need to make mistakes in order to learn. Also remember that by making mistakes and learning from them, you will be expanding your repertoire and practice utilizing your newly learned skills. You are human. You are imperfect. You will do things that you do not like, do not feel good about. Being human means that you are allowed to make mistakes. Having self-esteem means that you can forgive yourself when you make mistakes. Make amends, be sorry, and then let it go. Get on with living. Forgiveness seems to also be a theme, whether this be with yourself, with a friend or relative, or even with a romantic partner. And if this is someone that you are forgiving yourself, like someone that is, if you're forgiving someone in your past that either has deceased or you've grown apart from, you may opt to write a letter. You may even write a letter if you don't feel compelled to talk to them, because you might not necessarily need to do so in order to take that first step towards forgiveness. I want to pull from the book. So, relationships for the sacred union. Relationships are how we grow. They cradle and stretch us through connection and division, love and hurt, compassion and separation. They invite us to return again and again to the most important relationship we'll ever have, the one with ourself, the sacred union that's been waiting within. Ancient mystery teachings whisper secrets of sacred unions. Iros Gamos, sacred marriage in early Christian mysticism and Kabbalah, sexual alchemy in ancient Egyptian teachings, and Yabum, father-mother, I don't know if I'm saying that right, in Tibetan Buddhism. We're familiar with mystic couples such as Isis and Osiris, but we each have the sacred masculine and feminine within. And sacred union through external relationship is always an invitation to deepen the union within. Every relationship can be seen as an invitation to deepen connection with the beloved within, even our most challenging relationships, especially the most challenging ones. The sacred union isn't just between you and another, it's returning to yourself. And when we return to ourselves, we are also able to return to humanity as a whole. Maybe you're being invited to grow through relationships. Perhaps you feel like you're being tested or stretched, or find yourself longing for something external. This is an invitation to deepen the connection within, to embrace yourself fully and treat yourself like the most precious person on the planet. The more embraced you feel, the easier it is to embrace others. How can you embrace yourself more? And perhaps for those of you who haven't met the one, maybe that is happening between now, at the time at the beginning of Aquarius season, so January 20th to February 18th, or you are redefining your relationship, you are renewing vows, you are spending time with your loved one or loved ones, or even yourself in a more meaningful way. And before we get into tarot, I'm just curious. Also, with the bud and potential and promise, it's about to happen, keep going. There also could be a wedding proposal, or some of you might be planning your wedding at this time. Can I get a love message for pile 3 during Aquarius season? We have true love. You can't see that. True love. This is the romance of a lifetime. I don't like that you can't, I don't want you to be able to see, but I also don't want to. And we have keep an open mind. Your soulmate might differ from your usual type and expectations. I'll put this here. But if it's the romance of a lifetime and you truly cherish each other from the bottoms of your heart, from the bottom of your hearts, from the bottoms of your heart. I don't know how to say that, but I hope you're getting my drift. Then you need to honor it as such. And so maybe giving your partner words of affirmation or letting them know reasons why you appreciate them. And you can do this for yourself as well. You are in your prime when it comes, not your prime, but it's like you find yourself being at your best when you're with this person. And you might want to take some time by yourself to also nourish that sense of individuality. If you find that you're spending maybe too much time on your partner or too much time focusing on their goals and obligations rather than your own. But I'm trying not to say but because it cancels out everything you just said. I just want to add that you are also celebrating this love. Maybe some of you have a birthday in Aquarius season, or your partner does, or they could either have Aquarius as their sun, moon, rising, or Venus. Also, this might be a need to honor yourself if you are single and seeking a relationship, so that you don't give yourself discounts. And what I mean by discounts is you might be settling for someone less than you deserve. So this is reassurance that your true love is on their way to you, whether or not you meet them in Aquarius season. You might meet them in Aquarius season and you don't find that this connection blossoms until June, for example. But you have to give each of you the time and the grace and space to be open to receiving this love. And sometimes when we have trauma wounds that we need to work on, it's worth doing before we commit ourselves to a relationship. And I'm not saying that you need to be perfect or you need to be 100% stable. You're never going to be 100% stable. But yet there may be wounds that you feel more comfortable with working through alone. First, have faith that a wonderful relationship is coming to you. It's on its way. And again, don't compromise with an unsuitable partner. If it's true genuine love and the universe is sending this to you, then it will come with ease. It will be easy. Okay, so we're going to get, if you don't feel like this reading is aligning with you, feel free to skip out now and go to a different pile. Pile 3, messages for Aquarius season. Pile 3, messages for Aquarius season. Messages for Aquarius season. We have the 5 of Wands, which is interesting. You might find, I'm going to put this off to the side, the true love card. I want to also see if I can, ow, I just pinched my skin. That's okay. Gone through worse. Alrighty, so we have this up here. I'm trying to just restructure this so that it's better, because there's no way that all of these cards are going to fit. Okay, we have the 5 of Wands here. The 5 of Wands means that you're going to be very busy. You have a lot going on, but this almost feels like you're trying to prove your self-worth within a relationship. By doing a bunch of things that might not truly align with who you are, if that makes sense. This is also an indication that you might be entering a competitive field, or a lot of eyes are on you. And the Five of Wands can also talk about arguments and irritation and sort of a clash or contrast of personalities. And so you might be rethinking or renewing ways of communication. Like, so for example, maybe one partner's love language is not the other, you know? And conflict is not, like, it doesn't mean that a good relationship doesn't not have conflict. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Doesn't have, but it's how they handle situations together as a team. And again, sometimes you might not be thrilled with the prospects. If you are dating, it just means that you have to give it some time. Respecting also that your person might have a different opinion than you that's okay. They're allowed to differ in opinion or in values, because I think Aquarius season is a time for us to honor each other's unique qualities and respect that it's like those qualities and those ideas come from experience. And obviously you and your partner did not experience the same things. Similar to a friendship, you might feel like you're irritated by a friend's choices or a lack thereof, but you have to keep in mind that they are on their own journey and that they are going to make their own mistakes, and you have to let them sometimes, which is hard to do. Interesting. We have the World. The World is Saturn energy. This is completion. I'm going to get some other cards and then we'll talk about them instead of me going through. Maybe some of you who are in relationships are doing the long distance thing, and it can be hard for you to accept sometimes, because there are times when you just don't have enough energy in the day, maybe, or you and your partner are in different stages. So if there's an age gap, for example, maybe one of you is still going through school while the other is working. And so those two, like, maybe there's feelings of like, I don't know if I can help you. But you don't have to have that to be in a relationship, if that makes sense. The World and the Five of Wands can also mean a gathering of different people and different cultures. Maybe you are with someone who is a different culture, or a different nationality, or different race. And so it requires you to learn a little bit about what makes them who they are, and consider that diversity is a beautiful thing to be a part of. You also might be traveling together for something, whether this be a personal trip or some sort of a wedding or celebration or commemoration. We have the Page of Cups here. Some of you might be working in the hospitality industry. Others of you might be getting proposed to by surprise. I don't know why I'm feeling it, but for some of you, there's also, I love this imagery, because you know that phrase like, oh, I'll do it when pigs fly. And it's sort of like this disbelief that you didn't know that this was possible. And you might be surprised. Your partner might surprise you with something on Valentine's Day, like a surprise trip or a surprise experience that lights your world up. The Page of Cups is also a water sign, so Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. I totally blanked on the water signs. We have two aces here. We have the Ace of Pentacles. This is a new opportunity that maybe you're not aware of. We also have the Ace of Swords. So learning more about the situation will bring the answers that you are seeking. To me, this can also be getting outside of your own head a little bit. We have the Ten of Swords on the bottom of the deck. So letting go of old belief systems and old truths that are no longer, that were never yours to begin with. With the World and the Page of Cups, I think you're asked to look at something with new eyes or with a new perspective. Some of you with the Page of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles might be getting a new job. And so we have the bud, which is like your starting point, and it's about to happen. So you might get asked to do an interview to showcase your skills. Or you might even be, again, offered the job on the spot because they are so impressed with how you present yourself and the experiences that are able to provide these skills. The Five of Wands is also a need for freedom and breaking barriers. It's also interesting because we have the Five of Wands. This is also creative problem solving and doing whatever it takes to feel inspired. There is this motivation to finish what you started that is going to be very prominent in this Aquarius this season. And you might have to learn how to balance situations when it comes to releasing control, because you might be obsessing over what's beyond that, and it can be very hard for you to slow down and relax. This Page of Cups energy, honestly, next to the World, it's like, how the hell am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to just sit and do nothing when there's so much that I need to do? But what if slowing down was the answer? We also have a bull here. I don't know if you guys have tried sound therapy or sound bowls, but they're very, very healing, and I'm actually going to get mine for you. Okay, so we have the sound bowl. This is actually originally Marty's, and I was unpacking for him at our first apartment, and I found this, and I swear I fell more in love with him. Okay, so I'm just gonna play this for you, and you can just tune into your breath and relax in this moment. Marty can actually play it better than me. But it's something that I'm practicing. And sound therapy, sound baths. I don't know why I said it like that. It's just so healing to the soul, and it gives a focal point. I'm also hearing open up the curtains, let the light in. Learn more about yourself, learn more about what it is that you want to do. Pile 3, you are the only pile that has had 2 aces, okay? The Ace of Swords. Maybe you need to feel more stimulated in your environment. With the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles together, I would say also caution your finances and make sure that, especially if you're in a relationship, you have joint accounts, make sure that you're on the same page, because you might feel like there's a lack of support or a lack of sustenance in your relationships. And through this searching for more, it requires you to take off of work or cut back or carve out a new path for themselves. So this might be a time of transition. Overcoming mental blocks and mental challenges are going to be really important for you. But let's say this opportunity, though, like with the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords, what if this is putting yourself through grad school? Yes, it requires a financial sacrifice, but you are investing in your future. So I guess it depends on your perspective. I do think that your finances are improving. You might even be getting funding from the government or the university. As long as you believe that your dreams can happen. I'm going to roll the Astro dice. We have, interesting, because we have Pluto and we have Scorpio, which we had in pile 1, but we also have 2, which is the second house. So if you have Scorpio in your second house, potentially you are a Libra rising. I would also say, I thought, because the world is ruled by Saturn organization, review your subscriptions and evaluate if it's something that you really need or if it's something that you want, because that money, think about what else could that money do for you other than provide that dopamine release. Because ultimately screen time, you might be spending too much on screen time to the point where you feel a lot more drained than when you first started. I'm not saying take out all screens, because obviously technology is so important in our day-to-day, but reducing it just a little bit less and maybe finding new ways to stimulate your mind. The Five of Wands can sometimes refer to competition and games. So maybe playing some chess, or playing a board game, or reading a book, doing things that are going to nourish our mind. And Pluto in the second house. There might be a rebirth, like a death and a rebirth in terms of how you perceive money. So instead of saying oh gosh, I have to pay my bills, be grateful that you have the means to do so. Okay? You might have experienced childhood trauma. You may have had to go through a lot in terms of financial security. So some of you may have even experienced an eviction at the hands of your parents. Maybe they didn't really know how to handle money, or they had a lot of arguments around finances, and that has influenced the way that you talk about money and the way you handle it in your relationships. You might not feel worthy, or there's a fear of not being good enough for a certain opportunity. And I think connecting with your inner child with the Sacred Union card and really focused on ancestral healing is going to be key for you during this Aquarius season. It might be difficult for you to trust others, and I think the 3 rose cards are really highlighting this need to trust, and also release, let go, with that 10 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Release what doesn't serve you. And Pluto isn't just the house or the planet of death, it's the planet of transformation. Okay, and with the World, this is the last card of the major arcana. This is like the pinnacle point. And you might have grown so much in terms of personal growth, and you need to direct that personal growth towards making physical changes in your environment or in your bank account, for example, even if that means saving money and putting some away for the rainy day. It shows emotional maturity. And Pluto and Scorpio, there's this strong emotion, when you feel your emotions, you really feel them. You have a very strong emotional body. And I think having this deep ability to access these emotions makes you a better empath, and you're better able to connect with others on an emotional level. You have a talent, though, for using these experiences, again, as ammunition to help the world. So using what you have to fight for human rights, for example, or helping the unconventional learn to feel accepted in their environment. And again, you might have a deep fascination with the occult or with astrology or with death engineering. You see things in ways that others do not. You value things that others do not. Okay, for your last card, I am just going to draw a spirit guide that is going to be with you throughout Aquarius season. And they're going to help you with working with your themes. Because I am just a pair of hands. We hit some turbulence with our camera and our tech, but we're back. Okay, so we had 2 cards pop out. We have Archangel Raguel, relationship harmony, calm and harmony. And then we have Archangel Christiel, higher consciousness, light, Christ light. Okay, so 8 and 15. Archangel Raguel. Archangel Raguel's name means friend of God. He is the angel of harmony, justice, and fairness, making him the perfect angel to call on whenever you're faced with any kind of trial or hoping for a fair and just outcome. Archangel Raguel brings an energy of calmness, helping you to feel safe and relaxed as you ask for and trust in the best and highest outcomes for all. As the angel of redemption, call on him if you need some grace and forgiveness. Archangel Raguel can also assist with clear speaking and communication. The Oracle. Seek the harmonious path. Ask and trust that all outcomes will be aligned with the best and highest good of all. In love and relationships, find balance in your relationships by looking for an equal energy exchange. Make sure you are not giving more than you are receiving, but equally, don't take others for granted. Be honest and open with your loved ones. Make sure to both speak and listen. Again, you have one mouth, two ears, and that's not an accident. Work. Seek the balance between hustle and flow. Make your life easier by avoiding unnecessary conflict. Speak truth with love. Home. Create harmony in your home through cleansing your space, calling in the angels, and through open, honest, and loving conversations with those you live with. Money. Pay back loans and give to charity if you can. Look at your spending and saving, your giving and receiving. Move towards more balance when needed. Well-being. Cultivate inner calm and harmony through slowing down, lazy strolls, switching off your screens, and listening to relaxing music. Spirituality. Choose peace in each moment, not just at the altar or on the meditation pillow. Take your spiritual practices with you throughout your day. Embody the energy of Archangel Raguel by choosing the path of least resistance, choosing harmony and peace over being right, creating a harmonious environment in your home and workspace, trusting in karmic justice, knowing you don't have to judge others, let the universe look after it. And then we have Archangel Christiel. Archangel Christiel is the angel of the divine feminine Christ consciousness. She is a very high vibrational angel who can assist you in activating the Christ light within, connecting you to the energies of love, compassion, peace, forgiveness, courage, strength, and higher wisdom. The Christ light is usually associated with Jesus, but many masters of light, such as Buddha, also work with this energy. Archangel Christiel can help you connect to this energy of higher consciousness and love directly through the higher chakras, the soul star, causal, and stellar gateway chakras. You are light and love incarnate. Live your life from the highest path and perspective. In love and relationships, take the higher road, forgive and let go, seek out others who are on your same high vibration. In career, bring the light to everything you do, to all aspects of your work. Be the light in your workplace. Your light is needed where you are for now, but don't lose sight of your goals and dreams. Home. Visualize your home filled with the golden white light of Christ. This is especially useful in bringing the energy back up after arguments when you've been in a funk or haven't been feeling well. Money. Look at your finances from a higher perspective and look at the ways money can support you in living your best and highest life, not just paying the bills. Well-being, seek peace, meditate, turn off your phone and the TV, connect with your inner light without distractions. Spirituality. Invoke Christ's light and ask that it guide you in all that you do. Visualize this as a golden white light filling your heart, body, and auric fields. Embody the energy of Archangel Christiel by taking the higher road, being the bigger person, letting things go, trusting your own path, and letting others go on theirs. So yeah. All right, pile 3, that is all I have for you for Aquarius season. Give this video a like if it resonated, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Toodles!